What's up, guys? It's Jerron, and today we are going to be talking about these right here. These are the Jordan brand Luka 2s. This was a shoe, not just a shoe actually, this was a whole signature line that I was really excited about because I am half Slovenian. My grandparents were born and raised in Slovenia. I visited the country in about 2008. So it is a very special place to me. So when we got news that Jordan Brand was gonna give Luka Doncic a signature sneaker, I mean, I was over the moon, guys, because while we have had players from Slovenia in the NBA, they never reached superstar level, let alone signature sneaker superstar level, which is like truly the last level of superstardom. So when these actually, the Luka 1s came out, I was really excited. However, these really let me down. I mean, this was about as generic of a signature sneaker that you could get. Everything about them just felt mailed in. It didn't feel inspired at all. They weren't bad, but they literally were about as boring as you can get. So when I saw the images of the Luka 2 leak online, I was really excited because as you could see visually, it's already a huge improvement. And I do want to say that on the court, there are some improvements as well. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. But first, I do just want to give you guys a heads up that if my mood in this video is a little bit down from what you're used to seeing, it's because it is. Something really terrible has happened to me and my family. So my energy levels are pretty down right now. I will touch on what exactly happened at the end of the video. I want to get everyone who came to see what the Luka 2 is all about, if it's a good value, should they get it, should they spend their hard-earned money on this shoe. I want to satisfy those people with a quick review, but after that I will touch on the unfortunately bad news. There's no real other way to put it. But if for the people who just want a quick 1 cent statement on the Luka 2, if I had to give one, I would say that the Luka 2 is definitely an improvement on the Luka 1, but there's still just a Walmart LeBron. Okay, so the Luka 2, like I quickly mentioned earlier, I think visually this is a huge improvement over the Luka 1. Like I said, the Luka 1 was about as generic as you can get for a signature sneaker. I mean, there was nothing about that shoe that was unique or exciting at all. Nothing to really get the juices flowing. So the Luka 2 visually, right off the bat, I mean, I love the way this shoe looks. I think it's very in trend. But I also think at the same time, it's really nostalgic. At least for me personally, this is a type of shoe that I used to wear and all of my peers used to wear in middle school. It looks like an old skate shoe. I'm talking Osiris, Etnies. I love how they look. I mean, I love the layers of materials, which I'm gonna touch on how that affects its performance a little bit later, but it just gives the shoe some depth. It's a little nostalgic with the different types of materials. You have some almost ballistic mesh, a little bit rougher than what you would see on the Jordan 11s, the iconic ballistic mesh upper. It kind of feels like that, a little bit more abrasive, a little bit more rough, a little bit of a tighter pattern, which is good for durability, but it's not gonna be as soft. But yeah, the nubuck overlays, I mean, look, it's all synthetic. They're not real raw materials, but it does give the Luka 2 a distinct visual look that personally I love, especially the top-down view on feet. I mean, these look really slick, and it's something that I actually want to wear on the court. Now, as for the fit, the Luka 2 actually fits true to size for whatever size you are in Jordan Brand. Like, for example, in 90% of Nike shoes, I'm a 10.5. But for like 80% of Jordan Brand shoes, I'm a 10. So, I would just recommend trying these on in store. It should be accessible to you guys. But if that is not an option, I don't think you should mess around. Just go true to size. Whatever you get in Jordan Brand, you should get with the Luka 2. Like every once in a while with the Jordan Brand shoe, I will be a 10.5. But with these, I'm a 10. And the overall fit is good. Now, just for some clarity, a perfect fit for me is actually a little space in the toe box. I do not want my feet ramming into the front of the shoe whatsoever. I think it's painful. I think it's uncomfortable. The overall fit and feel of the Luka 2 is a little bit stiffer. Now, that is to be expected with the sturdier materials. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, this isn't a soft, malleable mesh or anything like that. There are some, not heavy overlays, but just sturdier overlays. It's reinforced. And then if you take a look at the midsole, there is a part of that midsole that kind of goes up onto the upper. And then if you look on the medial side, the medial midsole actually looks like it rides up a little bit higher than normal as well. Those two areas are gonna provide some more rigidity in the middle of the foot. And overall, it is gonna be somewhat tense. Now, I have a slightly wide foot, and I did feel a little bit of tension in this area that was slightly uncomfortable, but I'm hoping that these just have a long break-in period time. I played about 8 hours in these so far, and the tension hasn't gone away yet, so I'm crossing my fingers that you just really gotta break these in. And you know, that's to be expected because again, the materials are just, you know, sturdier and they're gonna take a longer time to kind of break in. Now, I do want to mention that the overall stiffness of the shoe isn't like terrible. Like, I actually think this is a good thing, especially for a player like Luka Doncic. You know, he is bigger. He's not necessarily like the fastest, quick, or explosive guy. He is a little bit more burly, you know, just kind of, I mean, he's nimble. He's got the step back. We all know that. But, you know, he's a bigger guy. You know, he's really planted to the ground. He doesn't really get off of it that often. So he needs something that is super stable, something that's gonna support him when he is exploding. Like that step back is a very explosive move, even though, you know, a lot of people associate explosiveness with like high flying, extreme athleticism, but that's an explosive move as well. So when you're doing a step back in these, you're gonna feel very stable. You're gonna feel low to the ground. You're gonna feel locked into the shoe, and you're not gonna feel like you're gonna potentially roll your foot over or your foot's gonna, you know, slip off of the footbed. That's what signature sneakers are for. If you fancy yourself like a Luka Doncic type of player, or even body or athleticism level, you're gonna get this shoe because it's going to suit you the best. But for a player like, say, a Russell Westbrook, like a prime Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose, a high flyer cut into the basket, you might want something a little bit lighter and more explosive to the rim. And this is just not going to be that, especially with this cushioning system, which let's just talk about it right now. So Jordan Brand uses Formula 23 in the Luka 2, which is a Jordan Brand exclusive technology. Like, they developed it themselves, and they did use it in the Luka 1s, but like I said earlier, the Luka 1s were so generic, you would barely know that there is any new or technology at all in that shoe. With the Luka 2, I am happy to report that it is an improvement over the Luka 1. The Formula 23 foam does feel better, but it is still not as good as so many other pieces of technology out there. Like, just for example, the Nitro foam in the LaMelo Ball Puma line, that feels better than Formula 23. And of course, Zoom Air is gonna feel better, Unlock Zoom Air is gonna feel better, Max Air is gonna feel better. But this is not bad if you kind of can catch my drift. It's not gonna hurt your feet at all. And Jordan Brand did add some Cushlon 3.0 in this setup to kind of beef up the cushioning system, which again, I think Formula 23 desperately needed. So overall, it is an improvement, but don't expect to like step in these and go, oh my God, it feels like a cloud. Or when you're running up and down the court, you're not gonna feel like you're gliding across the floor because the cushioning system is powering you on each stride. That is not what you're gonna get with these. You're just gonna get a pretty basic foam cushioning system that when you're activating it, okay, it's giving me some impact protection. They're not gonna feel like bricks, but when you're stepping off of it, you're not gonna feel like you're exploding off of it. So it's weird. It does the bare minimum, but it doesn't do anything to wow you. So if I had to put like a grade on the cushioning system, I mean, it's barely passing. I gotta give it just a flat C. Like, just enough to pass, nothing spectacular, but nothing inherently wrong with the technology. So far, Formula 23 still has a long way to go. All right, so last but not least, let's talk about the traction. So this does have a slightly tinted or milky, I guess you could say, translucent outsole. And I know a lot of you guys, like, you hate translucent outsoles. The tractioning on these is pretty good. I'm not gonna give it like an A tier or S tier quality, but I think it's in the B plus range. Like, you know, we all play on floors that aren't well maintained, they're dusty and all that stuff. And I felt like I had to wipe every once in a while, nothing too crazy. I think it fits the overall package well. Like I said, it's a sturdy ride. You're gonna feel supported. You're gonna feel low to the ground. The Formula 23 is gonna keep you connected, and the traction is gonna keep you connected to the floor as well. So if you wanna really control the feel with your on-court sneaker, the Luka 2 is gonna be a fantastic option, especially for those that maybe lack in athleticism. This is gonna be a shoe that's not gonna feel flimsy at all for you guys. So I think the Luka 2 definitely has a target audience, and I think that target audience is going to love these as long as it fits them correctly, because again, there is some of that tension in the midfoot, but if you can get past that, I think the Luka 2 provides great value at $130. Could it be better? Yes, but as they sit right now, I'm gonna give the Luka 2 a thumbs up. Like, I think Jordan Brand did a great job visually and performance-wise. There's gonna be a market for these, so good job, Jordan Brand. So there you guys have it. Those are my quick thoughts on the Luka 2 performance-wise. I might do a more in-depth review, maybe a video comparing the Luka 1 and Luka 2, like how they improved it and really go in depth. Like I said, I've only had about 8 hours in these. When I give a full review, I like to put at least 25 hours. So stay tuned for that. But like I promised at the beginning of the video, something really terrible has happened to me and my family. If you guys aren't aware, I am from Lahaina, Maui in Hawaii. And Lahaina town, the town that I grew up in, the town that I lived the first 21 years of my life, burnt down. The whole town was burnt down. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the news, seen the footage. I mean, that town, like, that's where I grew up, guys. Like, you don't understand. Like, everything burnt down. It looks like a bomb exploded on Lahaina. I mean, just imagine, the best way I could put it is, like, just imagine your hometown, your favorite restaurant, the restaurant you used to go to every year for your birthday, the restaurant that you used to get takeout from all the time after school or after work, the school, your elementary school that you went to, your favorite babysitter's house, your least favorite babysitter's house, the house she lived in, all the stores you used to shop at, the movie theaters you used to go to, the places you used to hang out when you didn't have any money, just hang outside, all of those spots burnt to the ground, all gone, nothing left. And you know, my girlfriend who I've been with, we grew up there together, my girlfriend and I. Her family still lives out there, and most of them are safe. We're still looking for one person, and it's been a week since they've been missing, and it's not gonna feel 100% real until I get there. We're waiting to go because the situation is so bad there. The resources, there's so many families that are displaced, including my own family. Most of my family was at work when the fires were happening. 70-mile-an-hour winds just spreading this wildfire across the whole town. The whole town was ablaze. People were jumping in the water because they didn't know where else to go to stay safe. They were jumping into the water. They had to wait hours and hours and hours in the water to have someone rescue them from the fires. Everything is gone, guys. And we are fundraising. I'm gonna put some links in the description. I have a GoFundMe set up and a Venmo. Venmo is the best way because the funds go directly to the families and not to, Venmo, they take, or to GoFundMe, they take a certain percentage. It's tough, guys. Like, I really don't know what to say, but I didn't want to say nothing, you know. Obviously, Lahaina's my hometown. I love Lahaina, and I believe in my community, and any donations can help. If you can't donate, I totally understand. I would never ask anyone to donate if they're not in the position to, but if you can, literally everything helps, guys. My family has lost everything, and we may have lost a family member as well in the fires. We haven't heard from him in a week. We found his car. His car was burnt. Yeah, anything helps, guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around, listening to the story. Again, I'll probably make a video on this, dedicated to this, because I love my hometown, and it sucks like to have it just be gone. So thanks for sticking around. Check out the links if you can. If you can't, share the links, please. Maui's asking for all the help they can get, so check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed the quick Luka 2 review. I helped you guys out with that. Stay tuned for more sneaker related content just like this. My name's Jaron, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.